Hey guys, welcome back. So I finally got around to installing door panel courtesy lights, and I installed the light bulbs behind this little red reflector in the factory location. So I'd like to give you a shot of what they look like and give you a little bit more information on how I did it. So right now the doors are open, but I have the latches pinned closed, and so that's why they keep shutting off every 15 seconds, and I keep turning them back on with my remote key fob by pressing the unlock button. So this is the driver door, of course, and if you come over here on this side, I also did the passenger side front door, and let's wait for this to dim out after a few seconds. So that's what they look like. And I went a little overboard. There were none in the rear doors. So what I went ahead and did, and I got a hold of some reflectors that are roughly the same size and shape, and I installed them in the rear doors. And you may notice that the location of the courtesy light is on the outboard side of the front door, and on the rear doors I chose to put them on the inside portion of the door. And the reason why I did that is I'll have to show you. Is when the rear door is closed, if I had put the light in the outboard position, it would be covered up by the seat cushion bottom over here. So by putting it in the front, it spills just a little bit of light over into the footwell, and so it acts as a a footwell when the door is closed. And another thing I'm not really too keen on is the fact that these reflectors that I purchased for the rear are an actual DOT certified reflector for road use, and so they're slightly different colors. This one on the rear is like a deep dark red, and the factory reflector in the front door is kind of a light red. So that was a little bit of a challenge to overcome, and I'll give you a little bit more information on that over at the bench. Okay, so undertaking this project was a little bit challenging, but the whole reason why I undertook it is because I already had some LED bulbs on hand, and I already had some speaker wire that was left over, so I would have had the additional wiring to run. So this is probably my favorite bulbs in terms of quality. This is a Sylvania Zevo, and these are the 168194 miniature bulbs, and I really like these because they're really high quality, and they've got a lifetime warranty, and they're plenty bright. So this here is the reflector, and by the way, this is the door panel out of my '04 Crown Vic, and the door panels are identical on my '04 Vic and my 2010 Grand Marquis. And this is the little reflector that lives in the slot over here. And the first time I did this, I took this bulb and I put it in the reflector, and this is what it looked like, just to give you an exaggerated look. So when the light was on behind the factory reflector, you know, it really doesn't offer any proper diffusion, and it just basically turned it into a spotlight. And with this reflector, it really did the same thing too. So I wasn't too happy about how the diffusion of the light bulb. So I got online and I started looking around, and oh, and the other thing is the white light behind this reflector, it really turns it pink orange, and I really wanted to keep it red. So I needed a bulb that would do two things. I wanted it to be red, and I wanted to have a little bit more proper diffusion so that it would make this entire reflector assembly glow, and you know, you wouldn't just see that one laser beam light behind the reflector. So in terms of finding a light bulb, I was awfully restricted on the size and shape of this little factory Ford reflector. And so this is a cardboard cutout I made to measure the inside of it. And so the inside dimensions of this Ford factory reflector is it's 70 millimeters tall, and it's 28 millimeters wide, and it's about 5 millimeters deep. So that really limits what kind of bulb you can get in here. And so what I did is I found these guys right here. I usually get my bulbs from Amazon, and this is a 44 millimeter rigid loop festoon dome light, and you can kind of see what the design of it is of there. It's got 12 LEDs on a board, and so it's pretty much flat. So the dimensions are going to be good. They're only 44 millimeters long, about 11 millimeters wide, and about maybe 5 millimeters deep. And so this is it right here. This is what it looks like. This is the front. That's how narrow it is, the side view, and of course the back. So whenever I get these cheap LED bulbs, the first thing I want to do is I want to test them out to see what the amperage is, and that'll let me know how much electricity these things are using. And I'll measure each one, and that'll give me an idea of the quality control to see if I can weed out any defective ones right out of the gate. So I did that, and every single one of these bulbs was 105 milliamp, and that was pretty shocking to me. And I just forgot to mention that I did not get these ones from Amazon. These were a 6-pack for $10. And I found the same bulbs on eBay cheaper. I found a 20-pack for $11.49. So those are the ones I bought. So that's why I have 2 packs of 10 here. So back to the milliamp. Every single one tested at 105 milliamp, and I'm pretty impressed with that. So that gives me an idea that these things are going to be pretty good. And the second thing I test is I test the heat output. And after having these things turned on for about 30 seconds, they actually get so hot that I could not touch them for more than 2 seconds, and I really didn't like that. So what I did is I made this little mock-up. I cut out some plastic of a gallon milk jug here, and I sandwiched it in between 2 pieces, and I let this thing run for 10 minutes. And why I chose 10 minutes is because my car automatically times out the dome light circuit after 10 minutes to preserve the battery. So I let this thing run for 10 minutes, and every minute I would touch it, and it was getting warm, but it wasn't getting so hot that I couldn't hold it in my hand. So I was pretty happy with that test right there. So as far as the light diffusion and the color, I'll give you a shot of what that looks like. And these are polarity sensitive. If you don't get them right, they won't come on. So this is what it looks like turned on. Oh crap, I need to get this out of here. So behind the Ford factory reflector, it really doesn't diffuse that much, but it does a better job than the other bulb I had. And on this DOT reflector, it does a lot better diffusion wise, because it's an actual reflector and it's dispersing the light more evenly throughout. So I'm really not happy with the way it goes through the factory reflector, and I would really like to use these DOT reflectors on the front, but I really haven't figured out a way to do that because of the size difference. You can see the width is almost identical, but the overall length is about 5mm difference, and they just won't fit into this factory location. I guess I could trim this down, but I don't think I'll be able to do that without mutilating it and having it look a little unsightly. So those are the bulbs that I chose and the reflectors I chose. And by the way, these reflectors are the Blazer, and I'll put a link down to everything down below, but I got these at Walmart for $1.82 for a pair, so these were very inexpensive. So now let me go over to the car to show you what's involved to get this thing put in. So starting at the rear, of course, you'll need to remove the door panel here, and you're going to need to run the wiring, and you're going to run the wiring through the factory loom here. This is this little plastic hose where the factory wires are run for the window switch and the power lock. And then you're going to need to remove this panel here, this little floor plate. And then you're going to need to remove this little B-pillar cover right here. And then coming to the front, same thing. You're going to have to remove this little footwell here. And you're going to remove the door panel. And then you also do need to remove the door speaker to give you access to this little factory wire loom, this little rubber hose where all the wires are run through. And so once you've got your wires run through here, you're going to need approximately a 4-foot piece for the front door and a 7-foot long piece for the rear door. And what you're looking for is you're going to have to tie it into the factory, there it is, the factory footwell light in the front here. And once you get there, that'll be pretty straightforward, and you can connect it with your favorite method. You can use T-splices, or you can cut the wires and solder them all together, or you could do what I did. I depinned the connector to the light bulb, and I attached all the wires, and then I put the pins back in the connector. So I didn't have to cut any wires to get that done. Okay, so that's my little door panel courtesy light installation. I'll give you a little shot of it again here, what it looks like. Oh, there you go. Now you can see. Oh, can't see all 4 of them at once. Oh wait, maybe I could get all 4 from this side. There you go. There's all 4 with all 4 doors open. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.